So the Callaway Paradym drivers, we have got the triple diamond, we've got the standard Paradym model and also the Paradym X model. Now, how much difference really is there between these three models, especially in terms of forgiveness? Like, is the triple diamond really that horrendously unforgiving compared to the Paradym X? And what are we going to see in terms of the launch, spin, ball flight, total distance, all of those kind of characteristics, fade bias versus draw bias, and also touching on looks, sound, and feel as well. An in-depth head-to-head comparison test as always. So let's do it. Right, so we're going to jump straight into it, and I'm going to kind of split this video out into performance section, forgiveness section, and then probably kind of like a looks, sound section at the end as well. So first up, we're going to look at the performance of these heads, and when I talk about performance, I don't mean fade or draw bias or anything like that yet. I'm talking purely ball speed, launch, and spin. So when we make a good swing, we deliver it well, we hit it out the middle, what are the numbers that these heads are going to produce? So first up, we've got the Paradym Triple Diamond. All of these heads are just going to be standard 10.5, playing 10.5. This specific head, obviously, we've got the front and the back weight. So this is set up more in the Triple Diamond kind of mode with the 14-gram weight at the front, 2-gram weight at the back. So there's slightly lower spin setup, but they're all going to be 10.5, all going to be with exactly the same shaft, which is just the stock Kylie White 60X playing stock standard length. So yeah, I'm going to show you two shots with each, and then we're just going to dive straight into the numbers and see how they perform. So felt like the first semi-reasonable swing of the day. Finally. I think it was actually a tiny bit high in the head maybe, just a smidge, but yeah, 4 mil high. But we're going to leave that in there because I don't want to be here all day trying to find right out the middle. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty good, right? So we've got, again, 145 efficiency. We'd expect that from any of these clubs, really, if you hit them out the middle. 15 launch, 2200 backspin, 306 carry, 11 revs of left spin. Like it. Again, that felt solid. That was more in the middle. We'll definitely take that drive. Slight pull, to be fair. So 25 yards left to target. Yeah, right out the middle though. So this is 146 efficiency, up to 170 ball, 13 launch, 2000 backspin, 311 carry. Yeah, again, felt very solid that one. Right, jumping into the standard Paradym. So obviously 10.5 loft, same NS sleeve setting. So just standard lie, standard loft, plugged straight into the same shaft. Weight, I'm just leaving bang in the middle of this one. Obviously, this has the sliding heel and toe weight for draw or fade kind of bias settings, more left or right bias settings. So yeah, bang in the middle with that. So let's look at the performance of this. Let's show you a couple. Straight out the bat, that was pretty good. Very neutral delivery. Felt like a solid strike. Yeah, it's good. Very good. Super neutral. Okay, it was a couple of mil low, but 14 launch, 27 backspin, super neutral face to path, 294 carry. I mean, again, 2 in a row, straight out of the middle. And again, some people would maybe put that down to the club. It's not, it's me. Just found a swing thought that works. Yep, so strike consistent, even better than the last one. Delivery really good. 13 launch, 2600 backspin. So again, fairly similar sort of launch and spin on that one. So yeah, it's two good ones. I'm going to hit about 10 to 15 with each, just to get a good data set. And yeah, then we'll look at the numbers. Right, so into the Paradym X, obviously the more stretched back now shape, much more kind of stretched. Again, we'll touch on that later. Single 5-gram weight at the back, so there's no switchable front or back weight or sliding track or anything. There's no adjustable kind of weight really. I mean, we can change the actual weight to change swing weight, but that's it. Again, 10.5 head, just set standard as the others were, exactly the same shaft. So this in theory is kind of the highest launching head out of them all and the one that's basically slightly more draw bias, so slightly more left bias, and you can see that instantly when you put it down. It sits more closed, and it sits more upright. It's 3 degrees more upright than the others as well, so definitely just overall more draw bias. So yeah, we'll touch on that when we're talking about the forgiveness in a bit, but first let's see how it performs. It does look absolutely horrendous. This looks like I'm going to hit it about 14 miles left. That actually felt really good. And yeah, it's gone 14 miles left. Oh dear. In a long way though. Again, still quick. You know, there really isn't any difference in ball speed in any clubs nowadays if you hit them out the middle. I'll leave that one in there for the sake of just showing instantly how left bias it is compared to the others. Like it just is. That felt like a good swing. Didn't feel like a left swing. Struck it really well, and it's ended up. How far left? That's 49 yards left, like not great. Obviously at a shape that's starting left and going left like that's going to skew the launch and spin. So that's not how it would perform on a well-struck straight shot. So I'm trying to get a few more of those to really see how it performs. There we go. Wow, that's gone high. I mean, that was slightly high on the face, but the delivery was great. That has gone so high. Still done well though, isn't it? Still 17 long. I mean, I am going to love to see how high that went. So yeah, it was only 4 mil high, that strike, 17 launch, 2800 backspin, really good face to path. Efficiency drops a little bit, 175 feet in the air with a descent angle of 50. Yeah, that's definitely not what you want out of a driver, but still got over 300 down the middle. I mean, can't complain. That was solid as well. Still down the left, but it's not horrendous. We might catch a bit of the fairway. Yeah, again, 2800 backspin. Launch came down a bit on there. It was probably a little bit lower in the face. Yeah, 3 mil low. And you can really see how even a minor strike makes a massive difference. But again, it was a good strike, solid, good efficiency, 145, 171 ball speed, up at 2800 spin. Again, definitely a bit too much. But yeah, it's pretty solid. So let's look at these performance numbers. Right, performance data. I'm doing this at the very end and I'm knackered. That Paradym X, trying to get a usable data set with that was hard work. I mean, God, that is left bias, that thing. So, quickest ball speed, it's no quicker than anything else. Obviously, I think where I was really just trying to kind of get the hands there first to make sure the face was coming through somewhat square. I actually probably swung a little bit faster. We'll take a look in a minute. But ball speed between the Paradym Standard and the Paradym X was, yeah, triple diamond and standard the same, a little bit more with the Paradym X. I don't think that would be efficiency. So the important bit really, why I hit so many shots there to really try and get an accurate representation of how these heads perform for you. Triple diamond, 14 launch, 22 backspin, I'd say is a very fair representation today. Paradym Standard, again, somewhere between 14 and 15 launch, so not massively different to the triple diamond, but spin did come up about 27. I would say that's probably about fair. So I'd say there's probably, yeah, 400 to 500 revs spin difference between the triple diamond and the standard Paradym. And then the Paradym X, yeah, between 16 and 17 launch. We averaged 16, but I would say between 16 and 17 launch, and yeah, low 3000 spin would be a pretty accurate representation with that head as well. So again, I'd say another 300 to 400 revs more than the standard Paradym. So even with the Paradym X obviously averaging more ball speed, we saw it down at 289 carry, the standard Paradym up at 294 carry, and then the triple diamond right up there at 307 carry. So yeah, a big jump for me going from the Paradym X to the triple diamond. And again, coming back to forgiveness, well, the triple diamond's gonna be a much more forgiving head for me, just because it's way less draw bias or left bias than the X, so therefore it's going to be straighter and it's going to be longer. Like, it's exactly what we want out of it. So yeah, I feel that's a good, fair, accurate representation of a head-to-head comparison of how those heads perform. Another thing I will touch on quickly is peak height. Now, obviously, with driver, we're trying to maximize carry while essentially getting the land angle kind of nice and shallow to make sure we're maximizing rollout as well. Now with the triple diamond, we're at 125 peak, so a little bit higher than I'd probably like still, but not bad. So 125, and we had a descent angle of 42, so not too bad. Then we jump up to 140 feet with the Paradym standard and a descent angle of 46. That's coming in quite a bit steeper and quite a bit higher. And then a big jump, Paradym X up to 165 feet and an average descent angle of nearly 50. So I mean, that is flying mega high, landing, just, you're not really getting hardly any roll with that, even in summer really you're not. So just, yeah, the peak heights between them, again from that launch and that spin, just crazy. 125 feet all the way up to 165 feet difference. It's massive. Quick little look at the club data. We can see that I did swing the X faster. Again, that was just me. I think, like I said, trying to get my hands there quicker to make sure I held the face open. But the efficiency, the triple diamond's actually the most efficient. So actually getting a little bit more efficiency out of the triple diamond. I mean, the dynamic loft actually between the triple diamond and the standard was not that different, to be fair, which does surprise me. We can see a little bit more with the X, but again, not as much as you would expect, generally speaking. So the CG within those heads really having a big effect on how that ball is actually kind of taken off and how the face is gearing. So obviously if you hit it low, it's going to gear that way. If it's high, it's going to gear that way. So that how the internal mass is making the ball react to really change that launch and mainly spin characteristics. So we can see on average, like the attack was pretty similar there. Path, again, all neutral to slightly inside. Face angle, all kind of really within one. So doing a pretty good job of keeping the deliveries somewhat about as close as I can get them, really, for how different these three heads are. Pretty happy with that. And again, we can see a dynamic like that toe way up with the Paradym X there. It really does sit toe up. It looks like it sits toe up. I hate that. Toe up and closed. Ugh, minging. But yeah, pretty happy with that. And yeah, really happy with that in terms of a good comparison of those heads. Right, so now let's talk forgiveness with the Paradym Triple Diamond. Apparently the least forgiving in the range. Again, we'll touch on that a little bit more later, exactly what forgiveness can mean to different people and why some things will be forgiving for some people and not forgiving for others. But yeah, the Triple Diamond, least forgiving, right? Oh, that could be a great one for the forgiveness section. I might save that one for the forgiveness section. So we might right now be in the forgiveness section because I hit that so far out of the toe that I felt like I nearly missed it. So just bring back up that club page there. So yeah, strike was 20 mil in the toe. So way out in the toe, felt really not good. However, that's insane. 1.45 efficiency, we know that is super efficient, so the transfer of energy through to the ball was just max, like awesome. Launch conditions, 13 launch, just over 2,000 backspin, 303 carry, ended up 0.8 yards right of target for what felt like a horrendous strike. The variable, I always say, it was a good delivery. Like the face to path was good. So realistically, when it comes down to forgiveness, we're talking about the stability of the head, how does it perform on off-center hits? And that right there is a fantastic example of this triple diamond head, even with the heavyweight forward, being unbelievably stable and unbelievably forgiving. That's why some of the other reviews out there who give this head a bad rap and say it's impossible to hit, in my opinion, is just completely full of something. Now again, that is the biggest variable because when people deliver it kind of face way open, face way closed, obviously that's going to cause directional issues. That's not really like a forgiveness of the head issue, that's just more a delivery issue. And there's a fine line between them, but in my opinion, this is a forgiven head. It's a great start, but this is supposed to be the performance bit. Again, we're probably in the forgiveness bit right now because that was utterly horrendous. I'm just going to bring back up that strike. However, 1 yard offline, 280 something. Well, I probably wouldn't have gone that far in real life, granted, but it probably still would have been around 260, 270, something like that. 1 yard offline, and again, I nearly missed it. Yeah, the efficiency did drop, but I mean, come on, that's just horrendously bad. The fact that that is still ended up 1 yard offline at a pretty damn good distance is shocking. Again, triple diamond, like, it's forgiving. So now let's touch on the forgiveness of the standard Paradym model. Obviously, it's a much longer head, CG further back, supposed to be more stable than the triple diamond, therefore more kind of forgiving. Again, yeah, different for different people. But obviously, like I demonstrated earlier, the two good shots I hit with this were great delivery centered strikes. It's not going to matter what driver you're hitting then. Good delivery centered strike, it's going to be a good shot. What happens when you hit a bad one? Big toe strike coming in. Yeah, I mean, that was horrendous in terms of the strike. Even the delivery, really, I should have gone left. The toe strike really helped me there, to be honest. It would have just kicked that face open at impact. I mean, wow. Look at that strike. That's bad. Yeah, similar to the one with the triple diamond. I don't really have to say much about that, do I? That's felt like that. It did not feel good. Again, however, just super impressive. Like, it's 22 yards offline, fine at 287. Again, probably wouldn't have gone that far outside, but again, at least that 260, 270 range. Maybe fairway, maybe just left rough. But I mean, for that strike, and again, we're going out to him with the face closed relative to the path. So if that was out the middle, that would have started left and then actually kind of drew from there. So I would have been even more in the khaki, to be honest. The fact that we hit it out the toe, again, probably just kick that face open at impact, get in the start direction, actually slightly right of target with a little draw. So that really actually helped me out. But for a terrible strike, I mean, stable? Yes. Right, so let's touch on the forgiveness with the Paradym X then, and this is where it becomes a sort of different dimension than people would assume when we're talking about forgiveness. Like, what is forgiveness? Well, for me, it's like, well, you want to hit fairways, and the same for everyone. So with this so far, I've hit quite a lot of shots. I'm averaging 37 yards left of target, and that's with me trying my hardest to hit a cut. Like that one, I literally felt like I'm trying to carve it underneath right hand, so I'm trying to hit a big slice. So although the stability of this head, I have no question is as stable as the others when you hit it kind of off center. For me, the design of the head, the fact it's more closed, the fact it's more upright, the fact the mass is really stretched far back, creating, you know, more of a closure rate, it wants to turn over on me. That for me is like the worst thing in the world, because I'm going to be hitting it off the planet left and my miss is going to be gone. So however stable this is across the face, I mean, it's pointless me even contemplating playing it. Like, it just would be horrendous. But one thing I will say is if you want a left bias driver, Paradym X, phenomenal. I'll see if I can get one bad one for you, just to demonstrate at least. Yeah, I mean, see, even that, right? So that's the same swing I made as the forgiveness one with the standard Paradym. Really low toe. Just really wants to turn over, like a lot. Yeah, low toe. So again, it was stable. I mean, I just can't even demonstrate the forgiveness of this driver because everything's just going to go so far left for me. But yeah, absolutely no question that it's as stable as the others. Do I think it's more stable? No, I don't think so. I really don't. Right, so let's touch briefly on looks, sound and feel then. So obviously you guys all know what this driver looks like by now. We will look down by the ball view because that's obviously where the big differences are. In terms of feel, I mean, the same material was right. I mean, the triple diamond maybe felt slightly more solid, possibly more mass being forward, but no, hitting them back to back, you can't really tell any difference. Same with sound, again, same kind of material construction. I'll play you some quick clips now from earlier. So this is a triple diamond. This is the standard. And then this is the Paradym X. So yeah, don't know how that came across, but that's how they sound in here. I couldn't tell any difference if I'm being completely honest. Okay, so let's touch on the looks. So I mean, I'll shot in down by the ball. The Paradym Triple Diamond for me obviously is the best looking one, just more rounded shape, smaller head, squatter front to back, looks a bit deeper, but it's a really nice all over shape. No alignment on it at all, so super clean look as well. Yeah, just sits really nice. If anything, still marginally close in the 10.5 head for me personally. I know that way that that kind of front line curves off to the right actually kind of has the appearance of it sitting a bit more open, but then when you actually look at the face, it kind of Still looks a tiny bit close to me, which I don't love, but you know, that's just me. So then jumping into the standard Paradym, obviously much more stretch from front to back. If we compare it to the triple diamond, which I've got here, it's the X I just chucked on the floor. Yeah, it looks, yeah, just more bulbousy, I guess is the way I would describe it. Just way more stretched from front to back. Definitely appears to look kind of shallower top to bottom on the face. Again, I don't know 100% if it is, but it might just be the way it looks. It does. And yeah, and then you've got a tiny little arrow, the alignment arrow on there for the alignment, which, yeah, it's really small. Looks a little bit odd, to be honest. But yeah, just overall way more stretched back. So then if we grab the Paradym X, again, same thing, but even worse. Like, wow, that's way more stretched back. Like, way more stretched back. And again, same little thing. The face definitely looks to me like it sits more closed. I'm pretty sure it probably does. It sits more upright. And yeah, way more stretched back, but still with the same little arrow. So really the biggest difference obviously is just the depth of the heads from front to back, looking down on them. They get longer as you get through the range. But yeah, obviously from the top, not too much difference really. So there we go. It's a quick little overview. I say quick, it's probably very long knowing me. But little overview of the triple diamond, the standard Paradym and the Paradym X, how they look, how they sound, how they feel, how they perform, what the forgiveness is like, covering all bases as we always do. So I really hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative. I hope you learned something. Please comment below, let me know what you thought, let me know what you want to see next. Please do like and subscribe. Always like to see our subscriber count going up. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.